So let's take a look at Shopify. I'm going to give you a high-level overview of the layout and show you how to find your way around. You're welcome to also just take a look at their homepage to see the different features that they consider highlights. So to get started, you're going to want to start a free trial. You're not going to need to put in any payment information or pick one of the pricing tiers. Just to give you a preview, there are 3 different Shopify plans, and it goes from basic at $29 a month to regular to advanced at $299 a month. I just used the basic Shopify plan and it's perfectly fine for my needs. I would say that the main differences are to consider how many staff accounts you need, so how many different logins you'll need to give to people who help you manage the site, how professional and in-depth your reports need to be, some different shipping concerns that you might have, and something that might not be super obvious is what volume of orders you have. So you're expecting very high volume orders and to generate a lot of revenue. It might make sense for you to start at the regular Shopify plan because the credit card payment processing rates are a little bit lower, so you might actually make up that difference. But I think for most people taking this class, you can just start with the basic plan and upgrade as you grow. So once you start your free trial and enter your information, you should get a dashboard to your homepage that should look like this. It's pretty straightforward, but let's take a look around. On the left are all the different navigation tabs that you can see. And I would say it's split up into operational tabs up here and your sales channels down here. Under Home, you'll see a dashboard that will change as your website grows. So when I log in, I see an overview of data such as the visitors to my site, that's the sales, and different tips that Shopify gives different profiles. So for me, they tell me things like, oh, this customer has shopped here a lot, or people who look at this product tend to look at this product. Maybe you want to bundle them. But for now, since we're new, it'll give you advice and guidance on how to get started selling online. So you can add a product, you can customize your theme, you can connect to your custom domain, and we'll get into all of this in a bit. Instead, let's keep going on to the different tabs. Here's the orders page. As your orders start coming in, this is where all the information will live. So you'll be able to see where your customers are, how much they're ordering, and be able to sort them and also leave notes to each other. So say there's someone helping you with fulfillment, it's nice because you can actually leave notes to that person and they can respond to you as well. There's also a feature where if someone has added something to their cart but never checked out, you'll be able to see that here. I'm sure most of you have probably gotten abandoned checkout emails from shops that you frequent, and this is the same thing. Basically, you can decide whether or not you want to send them. Sometimes it's not that someone just changed their mind. It could be that they were confused with the checkout process or they just got distracted. So it doesn't hurt to send them just a follow-up email to make sure that everything was okay. Under products, this is where you're going to add all of your different products. And so you can import a spreadsheet if, say, you have all your products already living somewhere else, such as an Etsy site, or you can add them one by one. And the reason why they all live here is that later on you'll see there's different sales channels and they all connect back to the same fundamental product. And so it really makes it more efficient to keep track of the different products that you have. Under transfers, this is for people who might keep their inventory in different places. So say you have some at your office and some at a warehouse, you'll be able to accurately track different transfers that you might need to have. And then inventory is more the overview spreadsheet of what's in stock. So you can see how many you have left of things, you can see what's out of stock, and you can also even indicate what's coming in. So say you've ordered a replenishment of something, but it's gonna be here in 30 days. You'll be able to keep track of that in an incoming section separate from what's currently in store. Collections is where you'll be able to group together different products. So things like different categories, you might want to have like tops and bottoms and jackets and accessories, or you might want to have different sales, so 30% off, 50% off, and things like holiday seasonal collections and things like that. So you'll be able to create a collection here and decide whether you want it to be something that's automatically put together, such as by product type or by tag, or something that you want to add to manually. Finally, gift cards is something that Shopify actually recently added as a free service to all plans. So that's really great because not only can people buy a gift card when they're not sure what to get their gift recipient, but there might be somebody who wants to support you but doesn't really know what they want to get right away. Under customers, this is where all of your customer data is going to come into. As the orders come in, you'll be able to see the customer information such as where they shop, how many times they've ordered from you, and you'll be able to start to see trends. And it's also a nice place to add your customer information that you might have collected from somewhere else, such as maybe information you're collecting at a marketplace that you're selling at or at your store. Analytics is basically stats for your site. So you'll be able to see things such as your sales, your store sessions, how often your customers are returning, how often those customers are converting. And if this is overwhelming to you or you haven't ever dealt with stats before, don't worry. As your orders and visitors start coming in, it'll be pretty self-explanatory. And I think most people really enjoy looking at their stats. Reports are basically the reports that Shopify helps generate for your site based on the data that they collect. And so you can look at things such as sales and acquisitions, your profit margins, customers and their behavior, and your finances. And of course, as you upgrade your plan, the reports get more and more in depth. For me, I find that the basic plans reports are fine. Live View is a place where you can see where your visitors are. So it doesn't share private data information, but you can see right now, where are they located? And so I don't really use it very often, but I can see for some stores that might get certain peak traffics from different locations at different times, it might help them make some important decisions for their website. Next, under marketing, this is a place I don't come visit very often because I don't really buy Facebook ads or Google ads and things like that. But for those of you that need to, you'll be able to manage all of that from here if you want. And another great thing is that Shopify email is coming soon. So up until now, most people have had to use third-party apps. The most popular one is probably known as MailChimp. I use one called Omnisend. A lot of people use one called Klaviyo. And so that was always something that you had to do kind of separate outside of Shopify. And so it's just great that they're integrating it with their service, and it's going to be free until October 2020 for all plans. And after that, there is some cost, but it's actually lower than what I pay for with third-party apps. So that's really great. Campaigns is where you'll be able to see reports on how well the marketing campaigns that you do set up are performing. And automations is where you can set up some automatic marketing to grow your business. The only one I use is the abandoned checkout emails that I mentioned earlier, but some people do get quite deep into this, and this is not a class that will get into marketing, but it's just good to know that it's there. Next, there's discounts, and so of course you can create discount codes for your site, such as take 20% off your order or get free shipping, and so you'll manage all of that here, and you'll be able to see, just keep track of which ones have expired and which ones are still outstanding, and you can actually make them quite custom. There's an option to decide to whether to do a discount code or an automatic discount. And when you go in there, you'll see there's different types. So it's like a percentage, a fixed amount, free shipping, buy, a jacket, get a t-shirt free kind of thing. And you can do all sorts of limitations or specific inputs so that you really create quite a custom discount code, which is nice. And finally, you have your apps tab, and if you come into the Shopify App Store, it's basically this whole other marketplace. So Shopify has some of their own originals, and so that's things like printing invoices, creating digital downloads that people can access. But there's also a lot of third-party apps, and they do everything from managing SEO, to setting up a loyalty rewards program, to handling your Google Shopping ads, and it gets quite up to date with what's going on. So right now I'm filming this in the middle of the coronavirus quarantine, and there's an app that is helping you set up no contact delivery. There's a lot of really helpful stuff here, and some are free, a lot of them are paid, but I would say to start off, don't get overwhelmed or too caught up in here, because it's easy to get tempted to turn all of them on, and then it gets kind of overwhelming and messy. Instead, I would just start building out your website and then look into what you really need to activate over here. So those are the top operational tabs. Let's take a quick look at the sales channel. So the online store is going to be where we're going to spend most of our time in this class. And you can also add other sales channels such as a point of sale, Facebook, Instagram. We won't get into that here, but it's pretty straightforward. It's just connecting to your existing accounts. And on the sales channel, this is where you're going to find everything that has to do with your site. So your blog posts, your pages, your nav, domains, and we'll get into that in a bit, but I want to show you the themes section really quick. So this is where we're going to be doing most of our work. You'll pick your theme here, you can browse themes, and then you'll customize them here as well. And then up here, you should see this yellow box that says your online store is password protected. So that means that right now, if anyone other than you goes to visit your website, they're not going to see your work in progress draft website. They'll see a nice page that just says coming soon and encourages people to sign up for your newsletter so you can let them know when it launches. Under blog posts, this is where you'll set up your blogs if you'd like. So there's not, of course, mandatory to set it up, but it's nice to kind of keep it incorporated in your site for SEO purposes, which just means people who are searching for content, it's better if they go to your own site's blog so that hopefully they'll go to your website as well. Pages are everything that is other than your homepage that lives on your website. So you'll set up, your About Us page here, any FAQ that you might want to have, a privacy policy, and I'll show you that in a later lesson. Navigation is pretty self-explanatory, but I'll show you how to set that up for your site. Domains is basically what was on your homepage when you first logged in. When I started, I set up my own domain on a separate domain service called Hover, but now you can just set it up directly through Shopify, which is nice. So you can buy a domain, check if it's live. So I called this one Shop Mimochai as my test page, and let's see if it's available. And it is, so I can buy it directly, and the price is competitive to what you want from a third-party site, so you might as well just buy it through Shopify if that's easier for you. And you can set that up there. Finally, under preferences, this is where you can set up things like how you want your online store to show up in search. So the title, the meta description, and also things like the image that your social sharing will pull. So say your friend shares your website to their Facebook account, they'll usually crawl your website and pull up an image to share as a preview. You can dictate what that image is, which is usually safer than depending on what they're going to decide to show. And you can also input your Google Analytics code and your Facebook pixel here. If you don't know what those things are, you can just click on this link right next to them to learn about how to set them up. I won't go too deep into here, but it's basically available there for you if you need. Finally, this password protection section is where you'll be able to disable your password page once you pick a plan, and also customize your password for people who you want to show the website to. Then down here in settings, you'll find all your typical settings that you might expect. So your address, your locations, different plans and permissions that you want to give to staff members or people helping you, your billing, enabling gift cards, and checking out, and different shipping options. So we don't need to dive in right now, but at the end of this class, when we start finalizing our website ready for launch, I'll show you the things that I think are most important to double check to make sure they're all in place. And if this all seems kind of overwhelming, don't worry. First of all, you can always go up here to the search bar, look for whatever you're having questions about. I put in shipping, so they'll show you where you can change shipping settings. And there's also resources on their help center. So by clicking on your name, you'll be able to view your account and edit it. And you'll be able to go to the Shopify Help Center, view the community forums, and hire a Shopify expert to help you if you need, and also learn keyboard shortcuts. So if you click on that, you'll see all the different shortcuts that you can do with your keyboard. And also, as we go along in this class, I'm going to be showing you what you tend to go to more often and which of these tabs you're really not going to go to very often at all. So don't worry about nailing all of this down up front. It's just good to get a lay of the land and understand what's going on. So now that we've done that, let's meet in the next lesson where we'll start picking our templates. I'll see you there.